So you can see the cornering lights there turn on. Hopefully you can see that. Really does help out a lot more than the motion of the headlights. I have the automatic high beams turned on, so we'll see how they work. And the low beam cutoff still seems a little high, so we'll see how that works too. It does have a little bit of a shadow on the oncoming lane, so that might help out a little bit. Also, my camera, I have turned up the brightness a little bit higher so you can see the pattern on the road. So it's going to look a little bit brighter than what they really are, what the headlights are. So the low beams are actually pretty good because we're able to see the road in front of us. It's not really patchy. Also, you can see on the sides really good as well. So even though the cutoff might be a little high, they're good. Okay, so the high beams kind of fade in, which is pretty cool. But yeah, we'll see those high beams on a dark road here shortly. There we go, fading into the high beams. The high beams put a lot of light there on the sides, and if you're looking out for animals, that helps out a lot. So far, the automatic high beams are working great. They're not mistaking those light poles and stuff for headlights, and they instantly go to low beams when there's a car coming, and they're not flashing other drivers so far. Those are the three characteristics of automatic high beams on other vehicles. So we'll see. Hopefully this one will continue working well. Alright, me going uphill a little bit like this is a little bit of a test of the low beam cutoff, because we'll see if that person gets blinded. Seems like they're not flashing me or anything, but still that cutoff just seems a little high, which can be adjusted down. I'm just saying, some vehicles come from the factory with misaligned headlights and stuff like that. So, you know, the dealerships are supposed to check all that stuff before you gets delivered to you, but a lot of times it doesn't happen. So sometimes you have to take it back to the dealership to make sure that they align the headlights properly. Okay, so this road is quite dark. And, okay, so there's the high beams. Uh-oh, it's not going to high beams. Alright, there we go. Now it's going to high beams. Alright, so we can see the trees in the distance. The road nicely. There on the sides is really good. In front of the vehicle is good, but it's even more impressive on the sides. Not sure why we're going to low beams. Okay. I guess it could see that car around the curve. Alright. Go back to high beams now. Go back to high beams. There we go. A little slow on that, but... And we're still on high beams. Now, okay, so yeah, the high beams suck. The automatic high beams having some problems there. Slow to turn on, and then on that case, it was obvious there was a car there, and it kept the high beams up. So not all that good. All right, so we'll see what happens here. Let me just go ahead and take control of the high beams here. What's interesting is that you have to turn off the automatic high beams in the settings on a sub menu in the settings on the screen. So it's not easy for me to just I can turn them down, but taking control over them, it's not really happening. But all right, so yeah, as far as the automatic high beams, they're not good, but the actual headlights are great. High beams, low beams, really good. And they do have the motion. I don't know if you've even noticed, it has a very subtle left and right motion when you turn the steering wheel. So it's just a subtle angle thing, and I guess on certain roads it could be useful. So yeah, man, I had to flip it down back. All right, so we got automatic high beams on, but they're just really not working really good. So yeah, very impressed with the headlights, not so much the automatic high beams. You can see the left and right motion there in the headlights. When you're driving, they're not distracting. You can actually barely see them moving while you're driving, but they do move back and forth. You have to be going forward a little bit for that to happen.